Oh, alright guys, so the Street Fighter 6 beta just closed and I want to be back there. I want to go back. I know that I can't, but I want to go back and I want to log in tomorrow and I want to start playing this all over again because there's something about this game, man. There's something about this game. I can see what everyone was saying when they played it. It just drives you back in. This is like the game that's like Capcom's back, baby. This is like, it's like the best parts of Street Fighter Alpha series, Third Strike, and Street Fighter 4 all put together. And you're probably wondering why I didn't put Street Fighter 5 in there, especially since I said, yeah, Street Fighter 5 with all the DLC is for everyone in a previous video. Well, that's because it doesn't play like Street Fighter 5. It plays nothing like Street Fighter 5, and a lot of people will be confused by that, especially people who don't play fighting games. But what you gotta know is that there's nuances to every game, and the nuances that come with Street Fighter 5 are just evaporated from the DNA of this game. It's crazy. So the first thing I want to talk about is I suck at this game. In a good way though, in a good way. Like, I'm able to improve. So this was an online beta test, so every match that you see here and everything that I played was only online matches and some training. I did a little bit of training, but for the most part I just jumped into online matches, and I gotta tell you, like, it was buttery smooth. It was like I was fighting people that were right next to me. The responsiveness was next level, and it's something that I couldn't really believe, because I'm a late adopter to fighting games. So a lot of times once I buy a fighting game, the online community is just not there, so it's very hard to find matches. Generally, with Tekken 7 being the exception, I get a lot of matches in Tekken 7. That community just never goes away, which is great. But yeah, with Street Fighter 5, Capcom games specifically, I never got matches, or consistently, I should say. And to be honest, with Street Fighter 5, for the most part, almost all the matches that I got were never really with a good connection. But let's just put that aside, okay? So, I know I said it was great. I want to go back. But yeah, there were rough patches in this whole thing. Like the first day, I was actually traveling when the beta started. So I had planned, my best friend is getting married, and I had planned his Bucks weekend for this weekend. This weekend that just passed, before the beta was even announced. So the beta was announced, I signed up for it, and then I got the email saying, oh yeah, you've been accepted into the beta, congratulations, da 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 da. I'm like, oh no, it's this weekend. So we went away, and then the place that we stayed at had no Wi-Fi. So I tried logging in on a mobile hotspot with like only 2 bars of reception, no 5G, and it wouldn't even let me get into the server. It would just be like, oh yeah, error has occurred. But that was about 2 hours in, and then, strangely enough, I have another friend who got into the beta. If you're in the Sydney, Australia tournament scene, you might know him as either Tepona77 or JC77. Those are these 2 aliases that he goes by in fighting games. And yeah, when I got online, he tried to connect as well, and he was having connection issues on the Friday. So I just said, all right, stuff it. Couldn't get on Friday. Saturday was the main event for the Bucks, so out of commission all day Saturday. Got home Sunday and logged in and finally got to play it. And that's when the magic happened. Like, as soon as I got in, it was like, oh, welcome home. And then I got to play a bit on Monday as well. So that's great. I got in a few matches after work. Lots of fun. And now you're probably wondering, like, what's with the title of the video? I'm bad at Street Fighter 6 and that's okay. Yeah, I think this game is very, very, very good. I think it's very good. It's very good. It's very inviting. The graphics look amazing, which is appealing to people who don't usually play fighting games. Then on top of that, you've got your modern control scheme, which works well enough. I personally could not adjust to it though. So when I jumped in, I'm just like, okay, Going in, for some reason Ken's my main character, and modern, like I thought, so I'd set the controls, and I thought that meant that it changed the controls for me, but it didn't. So I'd gone into like 5 separate matches, and I was like, why is this modern control scheme? Why is this? I don't understand. Like, trust me, if I were to get some training with the modern controls, of course I could get used to it. Like, I got used to UMVC 3. I could get used to this because it's very similar in that aspect where you have light, medium, heavy attack instead of punches and kick buttons. But for the life of me, I just couldn't adapt right off the bat, because I guess I treated it like an old arcade experience. Like, new game on the thing, go up to the machine and put your quarter down. Here in Australia, though, it's always been $2 minimum for a game of Street Fighter. And yeah, so that modern control scheme, it's accessible. I'm not gonna lie, it's accessible, but being so accustomed to the classic layout from over 30 years of playing Street Fighter games now, it just messed with my brain so hard. But yeah, look, I was still able to get a few good hits in. I was still able to get a few good moves in, but I will say it's not for me, but that doesn't mean that it's not for everyone. I can very much see a lot of people using the modern layout, but not me, unfortunately. But even then, okay, once I got into the classic layout, I'd gone in, and everybody else had 2 days of playing this game more than I had. So I got in with just the experience that I had from previous fighting games, and I think I did pretty well. Yes, I lost, but every loss was, apart from this one opponent, every loss was a very close loss. Like, they'd only have like less than 10% of their health left. But you know, a loss is a loss. What can I say? So in saying what I've said, if you've got past experience with Street Fighters, barring Street Fighter 5, and let's just say you bought those old collections, like you bought Capcom Fighting Game Collection, and you bought the Street Fighter 30th anniversary, and you play those old games, this will feel very welcoming to you, because it's much more like those old games than Street Fighter 5. You have more options for combos and combo trees. I think what they've done is they've gone with the philosophy of you can't just build an esports game. So with Street Fighter 5, they were just trying to make it like a league game, like an esport. But the truth is, when it comes to a lot of these games, they just become esports because people want to compete, not because the companies originally set them out to become esports. And I feel like Street Fighter 6, just after playing this beta, very much fits into that latter category, where it's not specifically made to be an esport. It's made for you to be able to have fun, and the esport can easily be incorporated through being able to have fun. You know, in the same way that Smash Brothers is an esport, Sakurai will always say is a party game through and through. But there are so many people who play it competitively, play for like money matches, play for cash prizes, and go into all these tournaments competitively, even though the creator said it's a party game. And I feel like Street Fighter 6 follows that very same philosophy, where it's fun first, and that fun enables competitive nature. The reason I'm saying all this is literally just to circle back around to, I was bad at this. I lost a lot, but I had a lot of fun. And every time I lost, I felt like I learned something more about my own playstyle and how to combat other people's playstyle. There were times where I'd just rematch someone and I'd lose 3 times straight, and then I'd win 2 rounds in a row and just beat them for that whole game, you know? And there were times where I'd lose 5 games straight or 6 games straight and not win at all, but come this close to winning, because I felt that the game's tools enabled me to learn and enabled me to improve. And even though I continuously lost, I had so much fun doing so. And I need to run that point through, because having this game be so fun, I feel like I will be able to introduce this to my friends who don't play fighting games, you know? I feel like this will be the first Street Fighter that my brother will actually want to get into since Street Fighter 2, if I play it around him. Who knows? Potentially my daughter will want to play it with me. But that's the thing, like, I will probably be able to get my daughter to play it with me. She's 3, she's turning 4. I started playing Street Fighter when I was 3. You know, like, but that's me going off tangent again. In short, I just want to say that Street Fighter 6 so far feels like a love letter to everything Street Fighter that came before Street Fighter 5. It also feels a bit like a middle finger to Street Fighter 5, in a good way. Like, Street Fighter 5 had its time in the sun, now it's time to move over sort of way. But also, like, stuff you Street Fighter 5, you were a nightmare to develop for because everything was so restrictive for years until the very end. Just saying. But yeah, man, I guess this beta is the kind of thing that makes me want to say, yeah, buy Street Fighter 6 on launch. Buy it on launch. The Battle Hub's already ready. The World Tour's already part of it. The Player 1 mode. So it's not lacking in features. You know, you got your training modes and your challenge modes already lined up. This game is not going to be lacking in features when it launches like Street Fighter 5 was. So you can bet your booty it's going to be a good time online or offline when it launches. So I'm sold on this. Well, this is hard to say because I got to play a early version of Street Fighter 5, like a beta version of Street Fighter 5, and I enjoyed that too, and that kind of sold me on Street Fighter 5. But this feels more complete from the UI to the amount of characters available, from what the characters can do. When I compare the beta of Street Fighter 5 that I played to the beta of Street Fighter 6 that I just played, the Street Fighter 6 one is a whole different beast in every sense of the word. And that's why I can wholeheartedly justify, I'm telling you guys, this game is going to be crazy when it comes out. On launch, bam, get Street Fighter 6. Trust me.